There is a problem with cassette decks, and if yours sounds like this, or like this, or like this, and it should sound like this, I'm going to show you what to do and how to deal with it. The problems and the cure are all down to this one screw. So what does this screw do? In most equipment, if it's important that you don't fiddle with it, most of them are hidden away, but this one needs to be where it is, and that means that you can get to it easily. And this is how and what it does. Well, that's a funny picture, but in the real world it would never happen, or did it? Now, alignment is important. This is what happens with the zip if you don't get the alignment right. I think it's quite important. This is a magnetic viewer, and it shows you what tapes look like. This is what a signal on a tape actually looks like. It's amazing, isn't it? You can see they're all lined up, and the different colour density shows how strong the actual signal is, how loud it is. What we're talking about here is the ability to run the tape from one side of the machine to the other with the accuracy of micrometers, because basically it's a precision piece of equipment, even though it was sold to the public. So you can see what the problem is. This is a cassette, and you have to drag the tape from one side to the other. That's 4 inches, and it has to pass over the head in exactly the right place. Not nearly the right place, exactly the right place. I often hear people talk about heads with hushed voices as if they're something magical. They're not. They're basically an electromagnet, and they're just made in a special way, that's all. But this is what one looks like, and you can see on here you've got cables and wires, and you've got a gap. Now the gap's the important bit. That's where the actual magnetic field has its maximum effect. With the head looking all nice and pristine, that's what it should be like. And then if you just move it slightly, look at the differences, the way you see where it's overlaid. And that's got to try and line up with that, which is not easy. In the old days, you would need to have something like this. This is a Azimuth adjusting tape. This is a Dolby tester. You could use that or other. But you need one of these to go with it, and this is where the problem comes. These things cost a lot of money, and you need training on how to use them. So let's put this into context. A human hair is 70 to 100 microns. A dust particle is 10 microns, a bacteria is 7 microns, a red blood cell is 4 microns, and the signal we're putting on is only 4 microns.
Say what?
That's right, and if you go up to 18 kilohertz, we're talking about just over 2.5 microns. That is incredibly small. So I'm going to show you now whether or not you actually need to do it. This is how you find out. Play back a bit of music that you know, see what it sounds like. And now, on a good tape, a known good tape, record something that is similar, and then play that back, see what that sounds like. What we're doing here is simple. If the machine has recorded the tape and it plays back nicely, you know there's nothing much wrong with the actual machine. But if it plays a known good tape, not very well, as in muffled, you know that you might have a problem, which is possibly the Azimuth. In fact, it almost certainly is the Azimuth. The reason being, a tape it's recorded has to be correct on its playback because it recorded it. But when it's playback a known good tape from another source, if that isn't correct, then you know there's a problem. If, on the other hand, they both play back okay, then you know you've got to look somewhere else. And that's where people make the mistakes. They don't look anywhere else. And once you've messed up Azimuth, it's a hell of a job to set it right again. First off, you need a cassette with a nice bright soundtrack on it. And then we've got to go and actually set the equipment up. This is where you're going to be adjusting that screw there with the arrow pointing at it on the spring. What I'm going to show you now is why Azimuth has an effect. This is actually on Audacity, and it's just to show you, but it's real. This is what the sound does. The sound is literally fighting against itself, and that's what happens when you've got a phase error. And a phase error means that the head is at a funny angle. Same difference. If you decide you do want to adjust it, what you do is you get the tape that's got a bright track and you play it until it is as loud and as clear as it possibly can be. You adjust it with the screwdriver and the end result should be good. If you have any problems, you can always send me a message or whatever. Leave a comment. So like, subscribe, and I'll catch you another time.